Hey yo friends, this is Kotz. A little bit of a special video today. Not only were we in the Merc of Whistleblower privileged to talk to the devs about the upcoming Season 5, but we even got to play in a build, which massive thank you to Red Barrels for that. Appreciate that a lot. And in this video I just want to share a little bit of experience, a little bit of a breakdown. I won't go too deep into detail for obvious reasons and not so obvious ones. But yeah, I just want to take this video to talk a little bit about my Season 5 experiences, to maybe get you guys a little bit excited for it, maybe answer some questions in the meantime. But yeah, so Season 5, what is it about? It's called Project Messiah, and it introduces a new prime asset, Liliya, which you have seen her in the trailer, and this is pretty much where I also wanna end this discussion. It makes no sense phrasing it that way, but you saw her in the trailer, what she did, and funnily enough, this is also the only thing the devs told us going into the meeting, whatever. They were like, yeah, you saw her in the trailer, like the little thing she did in the trailer, that's all we're gonna leave you with. You have a dev build, you can play it on your own. And honestly, I'm very glad about the decision. You can probably guess that this enemy is kinda stealth based, so spoiling a lot of the things that she has in her kit would ruin a first time playthrough, and in general a little bit of the magic that she has, quite a lot. So I really do not want to get too deep into how she works technically. I've tested quite a bunch on the new map with her, so I do have quite a bit of understanding of her, but I don't want to spoil it because more than anything, more than anything, I recommend to stay away from watching a playthrough and play it yourself when it comes out. Playing the resort map and playing against the new prime asset, in my opinion, it's such a unique experience for like the first time magic more than anything. The map and her play so well into one another. Not to mention, I mean, it makes sense if you already imagine what she does, that she also fundamentally is very different from any prime asset that has ever existed, which is also, and this is kind of like the bad news, quote unquote, there is no variator for her yet. At least I didn't find it, which makes sense once you've played the map and played against her a little bit. My theory, I'm not confirming anything, my theory is that there's gonna be a proper onboarding event after, what's it called, flashback therapy in February, March, whenever that's gonna be, according to like the roadmap, whenever that event is. Holy fuck, someone's getting in the building. There's probably gonna be like a proper onboarding event because she kind of needs the variator of her to be a little bit more refined. Like, she's not like the other prime assets where, okay, she's gonna spawn, patrol a little bit, and then leave again. She like fundamentally works differently. That being said though, without obviously going into too much detail about her, two questions I can answer though that probably a lot of people are very curious about. Does she have an intro? Yes. Yes, she does. And I think it's also a pretty decent one. You know, when Crest Twins came out, a lot of the complaints were about, oh yeah, do the Crest Twins have an intro? Yada yada. They don't have an intro, and that's kind of doesn't make them feel like a prime asset. Liliya does have an intro on the map that establishes her character and also what she does quite well. You know, for example, on the docks where Franco uses his gun in his intro, so you already are like, oh, he has a gun, he's gonna shoot you. Yeah, that intro also conveys the character of Liliya in that sense also quite well, in my opinion. That being said, though, second thing that maybe people are curious about, are there any shortcomings with this character without going into detail? And unfortunately, there is one. Now, I wanna say it, she probably is my favorite prime asset in the game now, regardless, and these are things that are probably fixable. but there are some things that after testing I found out which is a bit similar to like the Crest Twins thing. Not to that scale. Like the Crest Twins, when that shit happened, there was like a billion things wrong with the Crest Twins, in my opinion. With Liliya, there are some things wrong with her, but these are also very fixable. The reason I bring it up though is, even though I already talked and like gave my feedback and whatever to the devs about it, I do not know how frequently they update the build and if they have to get it to like Microsoft, Sony, whatever, for like console release or whatever. So I don't know how many last minute changes they can do. So expect there to be some sort of problem with the character on release. So that is like a fair warning I want to give. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say about the Prime asset. Again, I'm sorry if I'm very vague about her, but I think it's very obvious that she is a very, very unique character. And again, going through in detail about all the mechanics that she has, which the one in the trailer is not the only mechanic she has, would ruin a lot. And again, I want to preface this while we're also now getting to the other, like to the new map, the resort, Despoil, the auction is called. While we're getting into that, play the map yourself. I have done like a first playthrough thing and I'm gonna upload that when the update drops. I think Happy Heart does the same thing, Blue 8 does the same thing. My personal advice, and that sounds like I'm speaking against me or like the other fellas, play it yourself. I can rephrase it again. The map and the Prime asset and like the whole package has a unique magic to it that will be a little bit lost on consecutive playthroughs or if you already know what the deal with the map is. So more than any other main trial in the past, I will highly recommend a blind playthrough, even also solo. I do not know how it feels to play that map on co-op at all because I've only played solo, but solo experience against the map and the Prime asset is peak. Absolute peak. I did it psychosurgery, no loadout for like my first playthrough, and I got ultra humbled, and I loved every second of it. That being said though, maybe some interesting things to note with the map, that not only are there new objectives, obviously, there are new objectives because people are scared, oh my god, they're gonna recycle objectives again. There's new objectives, but also the map itself has some really, really cool features, which if you look at the teaser screenshot, you can probably guess one. But also, this map has also a secret, which I haven't solved yet. I think Happy Heart and Blue 8 solved it together. I personally have not solved it, but if you are a fan of like the pinging shit or on Disrupt the Neighborhood, the chess puzzle, there's gonna be one on this map as well, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, not much else to say on the map. The only thing I will spoil about the map is that they did false advertising, because in like the trailer there's the Berserker, but he's actually not on the map. At least I haven't found him yet, and I'm salty about that, so I'm gonna talk about that. But yeah, besides that, in my opinion, top 2 map, unironically, top 2 map for me. I do not know if it tops Downtown for me personally. And maybe that's just also biased because it's so shiny new, and in a few months I'm looking back at it and be like, yeah, okay, this is an average map. But as it stands right now, I absolutely love the map. I absolutely love the map and like everything around it. And again, I said it now for the 5th time, but play it yourself when it comes out. Play it yourself. That being said though, there's obviously some other things with this update, most notably Winter Kills returning, which has a new variator. I mean, it is pretty obvious that something was changing, because in the current live build, which I still don't know if that's an accident or not, we have the new warmth mechanic, right? Which people notice to counter cold snap and frost mines, right? So they introduced a new variator, like a completely new one for winter kills this year, called permafrost, which essentially makes the entire trial cold. Think of it like the... Who the fuck wants to get in the building, by the way? It's starting to annoy me. permafrost essentially is like the toxic gas areas on poison medicine or something like that, and you recharge warmth by going near heat sources, which are mostly fire barrels that we already had from Deep Burn, but also other fire sources like pitcher molotovs, or like if you have the Deep Burn variator work as well. So yeah. The variator is pretty decent. I had a decent time with it. I haven't played with it too much, but it seems to be like balance wise, it seems to be middle of the road. It's not too oppressive, but it's still decent enough that it will be a good supplement for like interesting variator combos on escalation, or like for hard custom trials. I think it will be very decent overall. Other than that, other things to talk about. New MK channels. There is Seize the Narcotics and Fabricate the Scandal for Police Station and Shopping Mall respectively. They're alright. I do not think that, like, they are not on the same level as some of the other goats, like Spread the Disease, Disrupt the Neighborhood, Get Out the Vote, if you were hoping for that. Like, from difficulty wise, I feel they are average, in my opinion. You can make some insane custom trials setups with like variator setups that could be very nasty, but overall they're not that bad, which to be fair, for Seize the Narcotics it makes sense because it's a coil MK. That being said though, Seize the Narcotics is probably my favorite police station MK now, which to be fair is a low bar because there's police station has so many easy ones like cancel autopsy, servo lockdown, or not even easy ones, but annoying ones like eliminate the past. So that's not a high bar to hit, but I really loved Seize the Narcotics. Which one thing I will spoil about it, which got me very excited when I saw it, is it finally utilized the counter gates, which if you're a new player, you probably have never seen those before, but it's like these gates where if you pass through a few times, they lock down forever unless you jam it. They utilize those gates in that MK for the first time in like trials in general. So that was very hyped to see. Fabricate the Scandal is like the second Crest Twins MK. It's definitely easier than Investigate the Minotaur. I found that trial quite hilarious with like the theme, what it wanted to go for, with the overall story, whatever. But overall, the objective is, it's alright. It's alright. Like, it's gonna be one of those MKs that are gonna be in escalation runs. If you're gonna go for like hard escalation, hard as possible, this MK is gonna be feel a little bit filler unless you get some insane variators. But to be fair, pretty much every MK in this game can get insanely hard once you have some insane variators anyways. But yeah, that's about the MKs. What else is there? They updated Invasion a little bit. Now, I do not know a whole lot about the Invasion update because they have been very cryptic about it. They have done some balance changes. They mentioned, for example, imposter stamina has been readjusted, whatever that means. That being said, though, one interesting thing about Invasion is there's gonna be ranks now, like an actual rank system. Now, the way I interpret and understand it from what I was told, it's more of a progression system. Like, it's not gonna be something where, oh, if you're silver 2, you cannot be matchmaked with like a gold 1 because there's like a skill gap that the game detects. No, it's not gonna be something like that. The way I see it, and the way, again, I was told, it seems to be a progression thing. That you can do every season, and if you get highest rank, and like throughout the ranks you get cosmetic rewards, and for example at the end of this season it's a gold version of the bone skin. It was like in season 2. I do not know how to describe that skin, but it was basically that. So yeah, there's gonna be a rank system now. Also some adjustments to how the imposter feels to play. For example, if the reagents complete the trial, you're not getting punished as much grade wise, and most of the times grading is actually what gives you the points to rank up, which is also maybe on the topic of ranks very worth mentioning, that it's an invasion rank. There's not a difference between imposter and reagent rank. That's maybe also something worth considering. That this is just a whole progression thing around invasion that you can grind for every season, and it's gonna have new rewards every season, pretty much. Which is a neat thing. It's just something to get people to play more invasion, which I think there's nothing wrong about that. Again, I do not know the details at all about the invasion changes regarding what they changed with imposters, so I cannot really speak on that, but seems okay. Seems promising. Other miscellaneous things to top it all off. There is now tasks for doing arm wrestlings and shit like that. Like, there is also cosmetic rewards. For example, when you hit 500 arm wrestling, 500 Stroop test, which is like a propeller head, I remember that one, 500 chess victories, 500 tennis matches, you get like cosmetic rewards, which is hilarious, because I know I will not reach some of those for a long time. But it's nice for the lobby game enthusiasts that they have something to grind for. And other than that, there's not much else. They patched Double Franco from Traffic the Product, so if you still want to play that, go ahead over the weekend before it's gone. And they fixed Jäger. Like, there was this one thing with Jäger, this update, where she was just standing outside like a dum-dum. They fixed that, so I'm very glad to see that. But other than that, I think that's everything covered, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry if I didn't get too much into detail in general. Like, I'm dancing around the nose regarding the Prime asset, but again, it makes a lot more sense once you actually play her, why I'm being so secretive about her. It just makes a lot more sense in that regard. That being said though, Season 5 seems to be going fine. I think it will be a little bit of a lower burn season, because you probably noticed there has not been any changes to custom trials or escalation from what I can tell, except for the new stuff being added, like the new trials, the permafrost variator being added. There has not been any changes that I can tell, so it's probably gonna be a bit of a low burn. That being said though, there's gonna be Twitch drops again once the update hits live, so I'm gonna low live the update again, and you know, you can go over to twitch.tv/Kotzwurst to farm your drops over there again. It's gonna last for an entire month again, so yeah. Not much else to say, except again, thank you so much for Red Barrels for this opportunity, and yeah. Next video is probably gonna be on update day, my first playthrough. Which, to be fair, I look back at that and I feel like such an amateur now, looking back at it, because I got ultra humbled on my first playthrough, compared to now, where I already figured out a lot more strats on Resort. But, yeah. Hope to see you guys either there. Again, make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more Outlast Trials content in the near future. And have a great rest of your day, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.